Hello, hello, hello. Angel here. Hope this video is finding you well. Welcome to or back to my channel if you've been here before. And if you're new, it's lovely to have you here. So it's time for some June favourites. And what a month June has been. Holy moly. I've got quite a few things to share with you. Things about my practice and, things I've been up to. I've even got a few decks to show you that I've brought into my practice in June, and even a few books. What are books? I meant books, obviously. So why not go make yourself a brew, or fix yourself a cup of coffee, and take a biscuit along with you, and let's spend some time together. Let's dive in with the first goodies. Okay, so yeah, here we are. So the first news I have is that I am moving. I got the apartment. Shippy-doo! If you saw my last video in June, I think it was, the beginning of June, I was speaking about looking at apartments. So yes, I'll be moving at the end of this month, which I'm totally looking forward to. So this month has been a lot of packing, a lot of planning, a lot of getting organised, basically. So that's great news. I've also been thrift shopping because, with packing and sorting out things at home, I obviously found some things I wanted to donate. So my plan was to donate to the charity shop. But of course, once you're there, you see some super duper things that you want to purchase. So I ended up coming back with things as well as leaving things. So the first thing I found was this little beauty. It's a mortar and pestle, obviously. It's made of cast iron, and I just thought it was so fantastic. I do have another one of these, which is bigger, which I've shown before on my channel, and I use that one as a pestle and mortar, or mortar and pestle, sorry, and even as a singing bowl, because it's so big, it gives a really nice clang. So I tend to pop my herbs into that, or even crystals at times, and use it as a cleansing bowl as well. But this one was a little bit smaller, easier to handle. And I just love it. It's gorgeous. So this is going to be on my witchy area all the time. As you see, there are some herbs still left from my last, can I say concoction? I'm going to say it because, why not? And that was a road opener oil that I also made in June. This is charging on my, altar at the minute. I also added a key to it, which I found at the charity shop a long time ago. And then I drew on a little wooden bead, some runes that are relevant to me. And then my intentions obviously imbued into this. I used a, what's the word? I'm going to say base oil because I don't know what the word is, because I'm not technical like that. But and I used some, some goodies that I had in my apothecary. I have a little apothecary, the majority of which I've, plucked or harvested myself. So yeah, so that's sitting charging. That's also my first road opener oil that I've been that I've ever done. So we'll see how that works and pans out. Other thrifted finds that I found this month, or secondhand treasures, should I say? Oh, bear with. This book had been in my Amazon cart for a long time, but it's quite expensive on Amazon, and I couldn't find it cheaper online generally. And then I saw this on eBay, the Library of Esoterica. Holy moly, I couldn't think of how to say that word. That was embarrassing. This is the tarot version. There are several versions of these kind of books. It's a big chunky monkey, and it weighs quite a lot. And the artwork is absolutely beautiful. Really enjoy it. I only received these yesterday, so I flicked through them. I haven't started properly reading them as yet. But I just thought they were gorgeous. Anyway, so that's that one. And then the seller was, the same seller was selling. That wasn't easy to say either. That was like Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper, poopity poo, whatever, however that goes. The same seller was selling this one, the Library of Esoterica, Astrology. I love this. I don't know what deck this is, but I want that deck. So yeah, they're a tiny bit dinged up on the cover, but that's fine. And I pretty much got both of the books for less than the price of one new book. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, I can tick that off my wish list because I've been wanting them for a long time, and I'm so happy that I managed to get hold of them for a really, really good price and secondhand. And they are beautiful books. That was that. Also on eBay. I found a new deck, or a secondhand deck, which I believe was actually new. It wasn't in plastic when I got it, but it was, the box looks completely new, and even the book hadn't even been cracked open. This is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. They're edged in gold, and this has been on my wish list, whoopsie, for quite a long time. It's been sitting in my Amazon cart. I haven't, I didn't, press the buy button. I don't know why. I think other decks have like come into my line of vision first, and I've purchased those. Merely because I think I know this deck, it's not Rider-Waite-Smith, it goes its own way, and therefore it's going to need maybe its own deep dive. So I think that's probably what stopped me purchasing it. And then when I saw it on eBay for a really good price, I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to do it. So I pulled a couple of cards. I did a couple of spreads this month with this card. Oh, what's going on here with this card? Oh, I never noticed that. Okay, never mind. What was I saying? Yes, I've pulled a couple of spreads this month with this deck, and I can't remember what I paired it with. No, I'm sorry, I can't remember. I've used so many decks this month, which I'll go into a bit later. I can't remember. But I really, really enjoyed the reading. However, I'm going to say that I felt 1 or 2 cards was enough during a reading, because there is so much information to go through in the guidebook and to read and to register and take in, that 2 cards were most definitely enough. And that's also why I haven't worked with it very much this month, because this definitely deserves its own deep dive and focus. It deserves me to completely focus on this deck. So I won't be working with it this month either. I think it might be next month or September possibly. Goodness me, the year is disappearing. But I'm really looking forward to working with this one. I do already have the Messenger's Oracle by the same creator. That is Raven Falan. And I even have their, I think it's called the Seeker's Oracle. I also have that deck. Or the Messenger Oracle is my favourite. Anyway, so that's that one. So I was really happy to get hold of that one as well. I think we're going to continue with new decks that have come into my collection this month. And the first one I'm going to speak about is this one. This is the Sacred Earth Oracle. I saw this deck on Candy's channel, and I saw it a while ago, and then I saw it again somewhere, I can't remember. I love this. Anywho, it's been sitting, and I've been thinking about it and oohing and ahhing about it, and umming and ahhing, and then I finally decided to bite the bullet and purchase it. So I love the artwork. I think it's beautiful. I did a reading with this one as well when I first got it in, but apart from that, I haven't done anything else with it. So this is going to need to be also worked with, but I'm not in any rush. That's fine. I'm just looking forward to, getting to know the deck basically. I'm also going to say that I'd seen this deck online, obviously, and I hadn't seen the box. But when I opened the box and took it out, this was really interesting, that there are bison on the box. And if you've seen my channel for any number of videos, or watched any of my videos, you'll know that the bison energy and synchronicities keep coming through to me. And I've mentioned before that the bison is not an animal I would even think about as an animal ally. So when the bison started coming through in synchronicities and I started noticing it, I was thinking, oh, that's unusual, that's weird. Oh, there's another bison. And I saw, I even saw, I've posted a picture of that a few videos back, that I followed a man into the supermarket, and he had a bison on his back, on his jacket. And it was just so random. And then I've been at work, and we have like random screensavers that pop up on our computers at work, and there was a bison that popped up on that. And I haven't, used, the computer for anything private, my work computer. So that was very bizarre as well. So anywho, so those kind of things are very interesting, I find. And yeah, that was a long explanation, but you get the gist. So yeah, so looking forward to continuing my work with this one. Beautiful artwork, love the colours. Sacred Earth Oracle. The next one was this one. This is the Oracle of the Skulls, Oracle of the Crystal Skulls, by Patrice Marty, I want to say the name is. I got this one in at the beginning of the month as well. I'd seen this one when I had been scrolling on for new decks on maybe Amazon, I'm not really sure. Like the look of it. Then I saw it on Dawn Michelle's channel, and that's when I decided to click it home and buy it. I'd already been thinking about it because I do really like crystal skulls. This is Rose. You see how imaginative I am. This is Rose, and Rose is made of rose quartz. That's what I mean. Very unimaginative with the name. And Rose helps me with release work and shedding. So yeah, Rose is helping me this year with my tarot card, which is the death card for the year. Anywho, that was digressing. So I saw this deck when Dawn Michelle did her walkthrough, and it just really resonated with me, and I just felt a real need to buy it, so I did. Anyway, when I got the deck home, I shuffled it, read through the guidebook, and then decided to pull a card straight away. And I love Bob. And the card that I pulled was this card, which is sitting on my altar. It's been sitting on my altar for the whole month, and this is Akator. Akator is made out of smoky quartz. And I'm going to just give you a bit of an insight into the guidebook as well, just to give you a bit of an idea. This is the guidebook. It's not so thick, but I've been really enjoying the guidebook, to be honest. There's got a few spreads in it, but I'm going to just show you what kind of information you get. So this is Akator. You get a bit of a thumbnail picture. You get when the skull was discovered or sculpted, or found. Then you get the material that the skull is made out of, which chakra that resonates with or relates to, and even here, this gives you a bit of an example of what you can use the stone for, or what the stone resonates with. Then you've even got the weight of the skull, where it was found, and then you've got the message from the actual skull. Then you've got the guardian's name, or the person that is looking after the skull, and even some more information on the website. So you can go to different websites. I've only worked with Akator so far this month. So Akator's message was, Akator came to teach about life and relationships. This stone was found in a river following a dream I had. The skull was sculpted 3 years later, and his guardian is Leonardo de Souza. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. I apologise. You know, sometimes when you get a deck in, and it's a bit like this deck that I mentioned, the Sacred Earth Oracle. You know, I did one card reading with it, and I was like, yeah, this is a nice deck, but I didn't just feel the need then to continue with it. I don't doubt that this is going to, be used in my collection, but just then when I did that reading, I was like, yeah, that's fine. This can wait. I'm not ready to work with this one yet. This one, its time was now. Its time was when I got it through the door and looked through it and shuffled it. And so this really resonated with me with Akator, and Akator's been sitting on my altar since then. And I was really feeling drawn to smoky quartz anyway. So when Akator popped out, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, and when I start to tell you in a wee second about what I've been doing this month, it will also kind of make sense, I think. So yeah, my plan is, or not my plan, I just think it's going to end up being that I draw one of these skulls, and we'll use their wisdom and their message through the month. It wasn't even my plan. I just feel that's the way this deck has resonated with me for how I'm going to be using it. I'm going to edge mine in black, but that's a by the by. Last deck that I purchased, which I can't tell you anything about because I haven't started working with it yet. Sorry, is the Everglow, a divination system. Yeah. I'm not going to say so much about it because I haven't worked with it. It's got beautiful turquoise gilding, which is absolutely fantastic. These are the backs. And this has got 4 different suits. The first cards relate to the major arcana. I loved the artwork when I saw it. It feels really raw and really free and liberated, and not rustic, that's totally the wrong word. Wild, I think I'm looking for. Anyway, so these first cards relate to the major arcana, and then you've got some other cards that spirit allies almost. You've got keywords. Let's just continue here. For instance, here, optimism, pessimism, attainment, time, adversity, adaptation, things like that. Then you've got elements. You even got the cards to represent the court cards of the tarot in here as well. Let's just do this, and then you've even got this this suit, which are 10 cards, which I can't tell you what these are. They've just got a lot of keywords on them. I haven't read the guidebook and I haven't worked with it, so I can't tell you. Then you've got the houses with keywords, and then you've even got these cards at the end, which are action, emotion, security, thoughts, and then you've got future, past, present, and what do I need to know about. So I'm really sorry, I can't tell you any more than that, because I just looked through the deck and then put it aside, because I was working with so many decks this month, and I was working intensely with a practice, which I'm going to talk about in a wee second. So once I start working with it and know a bit more about it, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more. So those are the new decks. Let's see if we can hurry this up. I'm really sorry if you've got somewhere to be and I'm holding you up. I might try and put timestamps in the description box. Fingers crossed I remember to do that. So I'm going to continue by saying what I was supposed to be working with, or what my plan was to do in June, was to continue working with my Melusina practice, the shapeshifter archetype. This is my Melusina poppet that I made, and I was going to continue working with her and researching. Yeah. And the decks I mentioned, which I'm not going to show you now because I've got so many decks to show you, you'll be here all night or all day, or the whole week actually. Basically, all the decks I mentioned, which I'm going to put a list on now on the screen, that I mentioned, are the decks I actually worked with in June, as well as a few others that made a surprise appearance in June, which I was totally not expecting. So I'm going to start by saying that the Woodland Wardens, I really enjoyed working with the Woodland Wardens in June, and these were the two cards I picked out right at the beginning of the month. We've got the Beaver and Birch, which is the keyword is home, and you've got the Deer and Oat, which was healing. Now for me, I love birch tree energy. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I'm totally drawn to that energy now, right at the minute. I've even got like a little birch tree altar set up here with birch pieces and things like that. Anyway, yeah, and home obviously resonated with me because I was looking at new apartments. So I was thinking of the physical or materialistic home, you know, the mortar and bricks home. So that totally resonated with me. And healing, the Deer and Oat healing. Obviously, I'm on my healing journey. That always resonates for me because that's a really big focus in my practice. And also the antlers, which I've mentioned before in another video, also really, really resonates for me. The antlers I've read previously relate to this, you know, this growth towards the higher self, you know, that they're growing upwards, and this awareness or enlightenment almost. But I tend to think, and I had this epiphany a wee while ago, I think about the antlers as when the animal drops the antlers and they don't need them anymore, and they drop the antlers to allow for continued growth, because obviously, you know, they drop the antlers, and the next season when the antlers grow back, or as they're growing, they become bigger for every year the animal grows its antlers. And I also think of it as the antlers are dropped to conserve energy for the animal. So, for instance, once the mating season is over and they don't need to use them to, what's the word? What's the word in English? When they don't need them anymore to, what's that word I'm looking for? Oh, holy moly, I'm going to put it on the screen. I apologise. Whatever that says now, whenever they do that, they drop their antlers to conserve their energy under the winter season, which relates and resonates for me because obviously, you know, there are things that I need to release and let go. And by holding on to those things, I'm consuming energy that could be redirected somewhere else, that, you know, it could be more useful to me. So that was a really long story. I apologise. I'm going to so have to put timestamps in. So with that in mind, my plan, as mentioned, was to work with Melusina. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I was totally taken away into inner child work for June. If you've seen my One Deck Gone Wild video, you'll know I mentioned this deck. This is the card from the tarot at the end of the rainbow. This is the Three of Swords. This kept coming up for me quite often. And I mentioned in that video that this card resonates for me because this looks like an altar. And for me, this card, the message that I received from this card was that I have been worshipping and feeding my energy into this altar of sadness and trauma and victim mentality and hurt and past wounds for too long. And I also mentioned in that video that for me, what I do at my altar is, you know, I take care of my altar. I leave offerings on my altar. I give energy to my altar. I charge my energy with my energy. Sorry, I charge my altar with my energy. And then when I need energy, I go to my altar to recharge myself. So I kind of took from this card that the energy that I've been feeding into this altar, I'm not getting back. It's just, this is where it stops. This is where it stays. And so when this card kept coming up for me, and specifically this card being an altar, totally resonated with me that I've been feeding my energy into the wrong things. And maybe I should take down this altar, pack it away, and redirect it to in other areas that will feed me in the long run and recharge me instead of just sucking in the energy or sucking energy from me. Does that make sense? It felt like, you know, this is like a wall that I'd come upon that I'm banging my head against, trying to get answers that I'm never going to get. And that energy could be redirected in a different way. So with that being said, in the same video I mentioned that I would really like some artwork of this card on my wall as a reminder. So once I started on these readings right at the beginning of the month, my readings led me back to this card, which led me back to that thought, which made me think, why don't I just create my own piece of artwork for myself, which is exactly what I did. So that's what I did at the beginning of June. I'm hoping this is in shot and you're getting the whole picture. So yeah, I painted my own picture with acrylics. This frame I found at the charity shop as well. It was £1, which I thought was perfect. I'm totally hoping this is coming or getting in frame and in shot. If not, I'll put a picture on the screen now so you can see the whole thing. So that led me to this whole epiphany almost, and it got me into thinking about, I don't know why, I really don't know why, inner child work. And then these decks made a surprise appearance because these decks were not on my radar at all to work with in June. So this was the first deck that I worked with. This was the Tarot of Oneness. And I just got a bee in my bonnet and I was thinking, oh, I really want to get that deck out and I need to work with that. I need to bring that out and work with it. This one, Sea Soul Journeys Oracle. And even, sorry, let's just pop this over here. And even actually this one, which was also a new deck, I've mentioned this in a video recently. Creative Consciousness Healing Oracle. Those are the backs, these are the fronts. This pairing knocked me on my bottom this month in a great way. If you've seen my top five tarot decks just now video, you'll know that I've already spoken about these. These were amazing. These were totally amazing. I'm going to just show you a couple of cards here. I love this deck. It's so nurturing. So it feels like somewhere I can retreat to and be held. It's like a hug, but not like a namby-pamby, oh, you're going to be great, you're fantastic. Not that kind of, nurturing. It tells you what you need to hear, and it gives you specific things, and almost takes you by the hand and leads you to the things you need to work with, but in an honest way, not in a namby-pamby, fluffy way. Not that there's anything wrong with those kind of decks either. Let's take a few of these as well. Sorry. Oh, looky here, the Three of Swords again. Holy moly! There we go. Focus. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Focus. But being deliberate with your attention. Does that not speak about exactly what I've been speaking about with this card? Being deliberate with my focus, and then belonging. May you welcome yourself home. honestly, I couldn't make this up. I couldn't make it up, honestly. This deck, if you've watched my five top decks just now, you'll know that this deck, it totally pulls at my heartstrings. Okay, let's take a sip of coffee. Let's move along quickly because, you know, we don't want any blubbering going on here. Yeah. Yes, so these decks have been playing a major role in my life this month, and I've been absolutely having an amazing time with them. This deck, or generally at the beginning of the month, the readings that I started getting started speaking to me about inner child work, and continued. And this deck was also really brought me into my inner child, and which really surprised me, because when I purchased this deck, I never expected this to be an inner child deck for me. I don't know why, but I always think of inner child decks as, you know, like fairy tale decks, or I've used decks with maybe a little bit more storybook kind of decks previously for inner child work. And so when this deck started really resonated for me with inner child work, it kind of surprised me a little bit. Anyway, so in combination with these decks, I'm just going to move these out of the way slightly. I decided to start on another journal for my inner child work. Let's just move this out of the way. Now, I'm going to apologise now for the jumping about in subjects, because it's difficult to remember what order these came in, but I'm going to try and be as clear as I can and explain. So let's just grab this book forward so you can see this. So this was a book that I found at the charity shop. This is going to sound really bizarre, but this was a book which resonated for me because it's got a hole in it, which is why I bought the book in the first place. And this book, it was about, when it was an original book, it was actually about the death of this is terrible, but like the cycle of death. This is actually a child's book, and I think it's for children that have maybe like lost a sibling, or their mum has like maybe lost a child, and it was a book to explain the cycle of life to children in an easier way. I'm explaining this very badly again. So there's obviously lots of pictures of children, and there's angels through the book, and that kind of thing. So it's just to kind of help the child that's left in the family to start maybe understanding or working through as a tool to help maybe the parents to I explain this so badly, to explain what's happened. To explain what's happened to the children that are left in the family. I really hope that makes sense. Anyway, so when I saw this, it really resonated in the charity shop because of the hole in the book. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Then when I was thinking about, I wanted to start a journal for my inner child, this book totally popped into my mind because it's about children, obviously. So anyway, so I gessoed this book. This is getting to the meat and potatoes now, I promise. I gessoed the book over, left the little angel, left the little baby, and obviously left the hole. And I was working with, let me just show you quickly, bear with. I was working with the obviously Tarot Oneness and the other decks that I just showed you, and I came upon in one of my readings the Fool card. Bear with. And I was also getting synchronicities about portals, gateways, and doorways. Do you think I can find the Fool now? I most definitely cannot. Oh, I'm so going to apologise to you because I'm keeping you waiting. I should have prepared this earlier on in the video. Why didn't I do that? It's going to be the last card. It's going to be the last card. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my waters. Waters? Water. Oh my goodness me. It was second to last. Oh, nincompoopery. This card kept coming up for me. And the portal. And I had other synchronicities with the doorway. With the gateway as well. So this totally resonated with me as a gateway or a portal. So gessoed the book, And then I drew a portal, which, you know, starts from the inside through the hole to the outside. At the same time as I was getting these synchronicities, I'm going to show you this card as well. This card appeared for me. This is from this deck, which I started working with in June as well. Every star is a doorknob, and it speaks about, you know, the doorway again, which totally resonated with me with the portal. Then I pulled, I can't remember how this happened, but I'm going to try and explain myself to you so you understand where I'm going with this. So for the whole portal thing, I decided to include this. I also was working with Kim Crance's Animal Spirit Oracle deck, and I pulled the Phoenix card. So I decided to replicate. I'm hoping you can get this is in shot and you're going to see this. Her artwork here with that card, and I wrote from the guidebook that is in that oracle. It's time to transform the past. I have been suffering for too long and something must change. I decided to take a stand and live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears. I embrace the spirit of the phoenix. I'm ready to burn through my baggage. I will no longer run from who I am, what has happened to me, or what I have done. I am ready for the dead weight and stagnant energy to fall away in the ashes and for a lightness and clarity to emerge. And here, around the actual, the hole that's cut out, I wrote, the fire of transformation is upon my wings, freedom, reincarnation, which really resonated with me with my, you know, the tarot card that I'm in this year is the death card. That totally resonates for me. And so I continued with the whole portal thing here. The little kiddie was, what's the word? From the original book. So I just cut paper out and, yeah, and then covered over with the whole portal. And obviously, you know, the whole portal was actually inspired by the Fool card. And so around this little baby I wrote, I'm ready to leap with a childlike innocence, which totally resonated for me with the baby. And then this one, this person here, this little angel, which I kind of think of myself as, this is my inner child and this is me. I am ready to rise and learn to know and understand myself. So at the same time, I don't know why, but Gustav Klimt started jumping into my mind. Now I've already been, he's one of my favourite artists. And if you've seen another one of my videos, I work with an altered book project, and I did this page in my altered book project, which was create a page inspired by your favourite artist, which was Gustav Klimt. Now this page was inspired by his Tree of Life painting. I'm going to put a picture on the screen now for you. But obviously I use the birch tree because the birch tree is really relevant to me at the minute. I feel totally drawn to that kind of energy. And so this was the page that I did for that. Hoping you can see that as well, and it's in shot. So Gustav Klimt, when I was working with this inner child journal, and the portals that kept coming through to me, totally jumped into my mind, and I couldn't get the picture of the kiss out of my mind. And then I stumbled upon this card, which I'm going to put a picture in now for you, which is from the Feminine and Wild Oracle deck, I believe it's called. And it totally resonated with me to create a picture, and I think it even mentions there about in that guidebook about creating some artwork that resonates for you. So I decided to create this artwork as a like an art spell almost, or art witchery. And so there is nobody else in this picture. It's just me, myself, and I, as it were, because this totally resonated for me as a portal. Like, this is the portal to myself. And so I've been working with that this month, that the relationship to myself is the portal to wholeness. And that's what I've been working with this month. And the inner child work really felt, it really resonated with me, that was also really important. I'm really hard on myself, actually, to be honest. And I'm kind of the person that's a bit like, you know, no, stiff upper lip, and, you know, when things get tough, it's like in my mind, I'm thinking, you've been through tougher things than this, you can do this, you know, you're not a wussy, you can fix this, you can, you know, push on, do it, just carry on, which kind of resonates back to my, if you see my video about my Pandora's box, you know, things, you know, when that inner child comes forward to me and they're like, you know, I'm frightened, I don't want to do this, I push those feelings back into my Pandora's box, almost shut the lid on it, and just I'm like, nope, you've been through more difficult things than this, you know, you're going to do this and you're going to fix it and you're going to, you know, you're going to do it well. And so there's a lot of things that I've done or had, you know, carried on doing, which I didn't want to do, but I just felt that I was kind of forcing myself to do things I didn't want to do, just to show that I'm not a weakling, almost. I hope that makes sense. It totally makes sense to me, but I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. So I suddenly felt that the home and the healing was all about, this is my home, me, I'm my home. And this portal that kept coming up to me was the portal that, you know, that I need, the connection that I need to make with myself to heal those parts of myself that I've spoken about previously, the facets of myself that I've spoken about previously. And so I felt that I needed to, you know, heal my inner child and really focus on that. I have done some work with the inner child, but this month really was an intensive month for that work. So with that being said, I have also, just to say that I purchased this also from the charity shop for £1, which was fantastic. So those artworks are going to go up in my new apartment once I've moved there. So sorry, just going back to the journal. Apologies for this back and forward. I'm just trying to remember in what order it all came through as, or in, and what happened, and to be able to explain to you. So yeah. I was using the the creative consciousness healing cards, and the nurture card came up for me, which I can't find just now because I haven't prepared it because I'm an nincompoop. That came up for me, this one, and I suddenly got this flash of inspiration to do a meditation with my inner child. And like I just mentioned, I'm not a nurturing person, and I think that's possibly oversharing now, and I apologise, but I've grown up in a family without a father figure, with my mum, and I don't know where this came from, but at an early age I felt that motherly nurturing energy leads to, which sounds really daft, I know it sounds daft, maybe like, you know, being left holding the baby almost, and being not taken advantage of, but not being respected, because, you know, because you're a nurturing, caring person, you know, you possibly get taken advantage of. And I know it sounds really daft, I'm really explaining this badly, and I'm not trying to be offensive to any mothers out there at all. I'm not doing that at all, but I'm just saying that this is the kind of inner work that I've been doing, and the epiphany that I've been having, that is why I'm not a nurturing person. You know, I've somehow from a young age in my mind thought that leads to being taken advantage of, and being taken for granted and being disrespected. And so I think that's also why I'm quite tough on myself. You know, that, you know, you can fix this, you can do this, you know, there's no backing down, you know, full speed ahead, you know, stop whining like a child. You know, that's how I'm talking to myself. That's how I am to myself. You know, stop whining, get on with it and do it. So I'm very, very tough in that way. Anywho, so my plan was, as the month started panning out, that I really want to try and embrace that more nurturing side of myself, and to be more compassionate to myself. Because, you know, if a friend comes to me and they're having a really tough time, I don't say to them, "No, suck it up, you know, get on with it. You've done harder things than this in your life." I'm not like that at all with them. I'm really, caring and nurturing with them, and I want to help them. But with myself, it's totally the other end of the spectrum. So that being said, I did this meditation with my inner child, and in my meditation, I had a blanket with me, and it was like a really fluffy, like a teddy bear blanket almost, which I wanted to put around my inner child, to comfort them. So I remember looking for my inner child, or like trying to call my inner child forward, and getting the feeling that my inner child was very hesitant about coming forward. And then we ended up, my inner child came forward, and we were on a beach, which was not how what I thought about at all. I didn't think about, that was not what I was expecting. And we ended up on a beach walking hand in hand with bare feet, and that's why I decided to draw this beach scene, because we were on this, like a beach like this, walking along hand in hand, speaking to each other, and it was beautiful. And when I we communicated with each other, I'm going to say, if that's what you can say, because for me, my inner child is a separate part of myself. Yeah, that sounds so bizarre, but I haven't kind of what's the word? I haven't got all my ducks in a row yet, so I don't know where I'm going with this. But I'm just explaining to you what my experiences have been. So when I came out of this meditation on the beach, I pulled some cards from the Tarot of Wonders, which I mentioned in a different video, and I pulled this card. And this was really interesting to me because we had just been on the beach together, walking hand in hand with bare feet. So I totally found that really interesting. And obviously, the Spirit of Cups is the Queen of Cups, which is all about, this nurturing energy. So it totally resonated, which is why I then decided to pop this in as well. This picture looking down into the water with the bare feet, which really resonated for me. So yes, so that was a really long story. I do apologise. And as I mentioned in the other video, I mentioned another few bits and pieces in my top five tarot decks just now video about some other bits and pieces that happened within my inner child practice as well. So I don't want to repeat myself. So if you'd like to see a bit more about that, you're totally welcome to go back and look at that video. Sip of coffee. So that's been totally what's the word? Not keeping me busy. It's not even that. It's been so emotionally fulfilling, honestly, to be working with my inner child in such a deep and meaningful way this month. And for that reason, I haven't really had any chance to do anything else, which is fine. I'm totally happy with that. It's been really, that's been really feeding my soul and filling my cup, really. So it's definitely a practice I'm going to continue with next month. I've also had to take down some of my altars that I have around my apartment, because I've obviously had people coming to look at my apartment because I'm moving out, and I don't want people knowing anything about me of this side of my life, or my spiritual path. So I've been taking down some of my altars, which I don't like, but once I move into my new apartment, they can all come back up again. But my inner child and my self-love altar is left. I have that in my bedroom, so I still have that. So that's where I've been working, and I just feel so connected to my inner child just in that space, and it's just been beautiful. I love it. I can't gush about that practice enough, honestly. Anywho, I also purchased this book in connection with my inner child work this month, which is Homecoming, Reclaiming and Healing Your Inner Child. This is by John Bradshaw, so I'm slowly working through this book. This has also been making me cry, so I've been crying a lot this month, which I was just about to do that whole, you shouldn't be crying, you should be tougher, blah, blah, blah. That inner dialogue was just about to start kicking in, which I'm not going to do, and that's the reason that I posted the my top 5 tarot decks, because I don't tend to share that side of myself with anybody, even in my real life. But I just thought, no, I'm going to step outside my comfort zone. I'm going to do it. So yeah, if you want to go and take a look at that video, you're very welcome to. So yes, so that has pretty much been what I have been working with in the month of June. Been absolutely loving it, and it's been giving me so much. What else have I got to show you? I bought a new crystal, obviously. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. This is a smoky quartz because I've been really feeling drawn to smoky quartz this month. Let's just bring this up. There's some like little rainbow flecks in it, and I love it. Can I say that I've been carrying it around with me? And you know where I've been carrying it around with me, don't you? You know exactly where I've been carrying this. I think you do. Oh, I just love it. It's beautiful. So yeah, love that one. And I've purchased 2 new books as well this month, which came at the beginning of the month. And because of my inner child journey, I haven't particularly been working with them very much. This is Max Adams' The Wisdom of Trees book. It's a hardback book. I purchased this one from Amazon. It's got some beautiful illustrations in, and it's got a lot of information about the different trees, which obviously, you know, I'm very interested in. That practice has taken a bit of a back burner this month. My Wildwood tarot deck out in nature with the birch tree, that's taken a bit of a back seat, but that's fine. That's fine. I feel that my inner child needed to be heard and seen and nurtured this month, so that's totally fine. I'm going to say also, because, you know, I do find it that this is a little bit interesting as well. I also asked my inner child to give me a message or show me a sign when they needed to be comforted or nurtured, or they needed for me to take notice of my inner child. I wanted them to give me a sign, and I pulled this card. I mentioned this in another video, but I'm going to just tell you because I think it's quite, you know, quite relevant. And so I pulled this card, the Chariot. And so, you know, the dolphins, the water, the boat, the macabre, I want to say it's called. And I wasn't particularly sure, obviously, which symbol was being was the focus. The Chariot, the focus. But I thought obviously the water was very relevant because we had, you know, been on a beach and walking hand in hand together with bare feet. And then I mentioned this in that other video. I pulled this card, which is the 3 of Wands, which obviously had the boat and the water, which was really, really interesting to me. And as I was packing away and finishing up the reading and packing away the cards, I popped all the cards back into the box, and I popped the box back onto the shelf like this. And I noticed the macabre. I think it's called the macabre. I'm going to write the name on the screen. Here. And even here. And even here. So that was really interesting. I love that. Why did I just jump from books to that? I don't know. I told you it was going to be what's the word? Rambly, babbly, jumpy video. Sorry to have been jumping from, you know, subject to subject. I do apologise. And it's going to be quite a long video, which I also apologise for. Celtic Tree Magic, Ogham Law and Druid Mysteries. I haven't even cracked the spine on this book, which is terrible to say. But there's still time. There is still time. Yeah, looking forward to diving into this one as well. My altered book project has taken a bit of a back seat also this month, but I've got all the prompts written down, so I have plans to complete those prompts when they are done. So there won't be any kind of catch up for that this month, because my artwork has been this, which supposed to represent me, and my 3 of Swords altar, which I showed you previously. Those have like taken those have kind of taken up my time this month, and even obviously my inner child journal, which is going to be a continued practice. The last book that I'm going to mention that I've been working with this month, which is a book that I have on my tarot shelf, which I've kept out because my books are pretty much packed up now, is Your Tarot Court, Read Any Deck with Confidence by Ethne Dawn. I've had this book for quite a while, and it's the same again. I just was like, I think I was packing up my books into boxes, and I saw this book and I was like, oh yeah, that book. And I have a problem. I've only been reading tarot since 2020, and I only read for myself, but I still have problems with the court cards, as well as Temperance, the 5 and the 7 of Swords. Those meanings and the, you know, how those cards read, they just never ever stick in my mind. I have real trouble with those cards. But this was a really good book for the court cards, so I've been delving into this one this month as well. really been enjoying that. I've also been harvesting a few bits and pieces from my apothecary. If you'd like a little tour of my apothecary, not that it's particularly very exciting, I do tend to harvest and dry my own herbs that are relevant to the area I live in. So if you'd like to see any kind of tour of that, let me know. I'll do that once I've moved and got all my bits and pieces up and about. There are a few videos coming up obviously in July. One of the ones is a little bit of a tour of some of the books on my bookshelf. That's coming up very, very soon, as well as a few resurrected old hashtags. So yeah, watch this space. I think I've said everything I need to say. Let me just double check and make sure that I'm not missing anything here. I'm just looking about me just to make sure that I haven't left anything out of this video, but I don't think so. So yeah, what have you been doing this month? What have you been focusing on? If you'd like to share that in the comment section, let me know. It's always nice to have a little old chat in the comment section with you. Which decks have you been using this month? Did you use one? Did you use more than two? Let me know. I'd love to know because I'm nosy. I do apologise for the long video. I apologise for the rambly video. And I apologise about hopping from subject to subject. I hope it made sense. Yeah. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. And hope to see you next time. Toodaloo.